Cheers!
Bottoms up.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You're back with another beer review with the Kissing Cousins from Off the Tap. I am Skinny Jeans.
Tap the tank.
And this week, we're going to hit up a brewery to one of our neighboring states. Michigan, we're going to Founders Brewery. Alright?
Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids, Michigan. Now, shout out real quick. Restaurant down the road from us, Hagemeister Park. We had a gift certificate. It was expired. They allowed us to use it. If you're ever in Green Bay, this place, phenomenal food, tons of beer on tap, great atmosphere. This place is awesome. The wait staff is great. The general manager has been nothing but kind. I've been messaging back and forth about this expired gift certificate that I screwed up a little bit, forgot when it, I don't know, things happen. Forgot all about it. Let us go and pour some beer, and here we are with our review.
They have that patio bar, which is awesome, right on city deck.
Right on the water, basically.
So
great time.
Great experience. You guys should definitely check them out. But nonetheless, Founders Brewing.
Founders Brewing. All right, this isn't their staple beer, but this beer is phenomenal. You had me try this before we even poured it in the growler. Whew! I was like, hell yeah, that's good.
It's sweet, but it's good.
It's called, now say it with me, we'll say it slow. We'll do this together, all right? It's not easy. Say it fast, you're going to screw it up. It's a tongue twister, all right? This is a Nitro beer, okay? So it's Nitro Rubaeus. Nitro Rubaeus. It's real screwed up how it's spelled, too. It's like R-U-B-A-L-I-J-K elemental P, you know, all those letters. So it's Rubaeus, all right?
All right, this beer is 5.7, and the nitro part of it is basically normally what they pour it with. Like, you can have CO2 or you can have nitrogen.
Mm-hmm.
Nitrogen, it gives it that cascade, which we didn't get that effect, which we wanted on video, because it's been poured into a growler. So, nonetheless, we got it, but we didn't get the whole cascade effect, which would have been cool to have. But nitro, it gives it that whole cascade of smaller bubbles, which makes it fall to the bottom of the glass rather than rise up. It's basically kind of like the way Guinness is poured, where it cascades to the bottom. And that's what this beer is supposed to do originally. Like, we saw it in person tonight. Like,
it's real cool. It's some, like, psychedelic crap. It's like,
because, like, you get the Guinness where it's brown, but this is like a red and a pinkish tint where it just kind of cascades into levels. Like,
yeah.
It's white, then it goes to, like, a redder and a pink, and then it gets to this bright red color that we
blood
have.
red color, which obviously it's a raspberry. I'm super impressed.
And
I don't like too many fruity beers.
It's sweet, like it's definitely a kick in the stomach. Like,
it's
after
tart.
a few, it's
very tart,
sweet, and then it's followed up by a tart, which is gonna hit your stomach hard.
It will.
Like, you can't drink this all day, but for a beer, like, just a refreshment, like middle of summer, I'd go pound this.
Oh, this is something.
Probably more than one or two. I'd probably have like 3 or 4 just because it's summer.
Absolutely. All right. So, like we said, it's nitrogen infused with a complex, rich raspberry flavor to it. Okay, it's an ale, so it's gonna have that, like, rich taste to it already, and it's gonna give you, like, a very creamy mouthful at the end, which it's very hard to kind of comprehend that because it's so tart and sweet that it'll be creamy at the end. But trust me, it is. It's giving you a burst of a little bit of everything with this. So, a little bit about the brewery. They're from Grand Rapids. Okay, the brewery back in the day, it was called something else. Don't have that off the top of my head. All right, actually, I do. I remember it now. Canal Brewing Company, all right? They started in 1996, and it was a couple guys that came from a different brewery. Then they opened this brewery. Then it was Canal Brewery. Then they took a picture, actually, of, like, the whole Canal Street, which is why they called it Canal Brewery, because that's the name of the street. And the picture that they took above said Founders. So that's kind of when they reestablished themselves. that has been what they named themselves, Founders
That's
Brewing
kind of
Company.
genius. Like they hit their target market. Like, hey, this is us.
Yeah.
This is local. You can't get more local than the street and what was there before you turned it into the brewery.
Exactly. So, like I said, they started in 1996. Now, in 2014, they became the 17th largest craft brewer in America. All right, like
That's pretty big.
That's pretty big. Now, sidetrack a little bit, just kind of a little thing that I thought of. A lot of these breweries that we've been talking about or discussing or even off air, these places have been around since like the 90s.
A lot longer, like
the mid 90s. These people have been like trucking it and just putting themselves to the wire.
They have been the spearhead of the craft brew because you think about it, the craft brew, like the big boom is just like it's recently within the last few years,
right?
Where you got all these people just following the craft brews. Oh, hey man, there's other stuff than Bud Lights, Miller Lights, all this stuff. Like,
exactly.
Let's go taste. Let's find our taste.
It's amazing that like these people were all just like dudes in college. That's basically how
Pretty
these guys
much.
started out. They were home brewers, and they just decided, hey, let's just make some beer. Let's open a brewery. No one ever expected to make money. They were just looking to have a good time, make a decent living, and now they're one of the more known breweries in the country as far as craft beer. They sell to over 35 states. So, like, they're all over the damn place. They actually, in 2014, announced that they were going to have a $35 million, I don't know if it was a renovation or if they were building an entire new brewery, but they went from, like, in the last decade only being able to brew, like, 130-some thousand barrels to now their capacity. I don't think they brew this quite yet, but their capacity with their new facility can brew up to almost 1 million.
Wow, that's right behind
it more than doubled.
That's right behind Yuengling, like the oldest brewery that we just talked about in our news article.
Yeah,
they do 2 million a year, and they're about to be able to compete with these guys now. Like they're going to be in that. If you think about it, they're going to be in that market.
Yep.
1 million to 2 million, like that's nothing when it comes to beer.
See, the difference though is this company sold a share. I think they sold 30% of their share to, I don't remember the guy's name, but they are no longer considered a microbrew. They are now considered a macro brew because of that
Next
percentage.
Yeah.
So it's...
Which basically that's a distribution avenue and all that stuff is... like
we'll have to do a video kind of explaining and separating the micro to the macro to your big brew.
We'll definitely have to do that video. Maybe we'll do it next week as our Tuesday.
Yeah, we could do that. We definitely could do that. So this new tap room that they have is... We gotta go check this out. We need to make a trip to Michigan. This place, it's a 14,000 square foot tap room. And they do like food, obviously beer, and they have a smaller brewery just basically for themselves, which can brew up to 8 kegs a week, which basically just supplies for the tap room.
All right, see, we have that brewery, a brewery similar to that, Badger State.
Yep.
They do the same thing. They have their big brewery where they do their core brands, their distribution brewery pretty much, and then they got their own thing where their pilot series starts. Yeah. Where they start testing all these different beers, and that's what they do. Basically, the same thing they do is like, oh, let's try this out. Let's see if it works. And once they get great reviews by people that come to their tap room or wherever, that's when they start brewing, hey, make it a core beer.
Right.
So we got one of those right down the road, and like I've been in it. It's phenomenal. They got so much crazy stuff brewing. Like they got stuff that's taken years to age.
I would be curious to talk to some of these brewmasters, the owners of some of these breweries. What makes them? Because okay, so there's a difference between a beer that's just brewed year round and then like a core beer, because your beers that are brewed year round might be more limited than like your core beers. What finally defines and what is like the process in their head that's like, this is one of our cores? Because usually it's gonna be one of your first.
See, being a homebrewer, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I brewed 2 decent beers. I'm like, man, these could be core. I could expand off them.
Yeah.
Like, I think like their core beers was like, what if I add this twist to it or this twist to it? it's still the same beer, but I added this flavor or I did this to it and I altered it a little bit, but it's still their core lineup and they're expanding off of it.
Right. Well, like this very beer that we're drinking wasn't originally a Nitro.
No, they have a core beer of this.
Mm.
It's not a Nitro. It's just a regular CO2 brewed beer.
Yeah.
And it's in a can. Like, they have a core beer of this, but we got the Nitro version.
Yep.
Which is not, like, see, that's something they alter, so it's like, hey, let's brew it and see what people think. And they'll, eventually, maybe they'll start canning or bottling. Like, I know Guinness, like, when you pour it out of a bottle and it cascades, you get the same effect as you do of the tap. Like,
yeah.
So they probably wouldn't can it, they bottle it. Like,
exactly.
Maybe that's where they're trying to figure stuff out. Like, because this is an awesome beer. Like, I'd buy this for summer, definitely.
So, why don't you dive into the hardiness and what makes this beer
all right,
its own?
This is brewed with crystal hops, which is actually pretty popular. Just creating a word. A pretty popular beer or hop for IPAs.
Yeah.
Which this isn't IPA, it's an ale.
And this isn't a hoppy beer.
It's not hoppy. There's there's not a strong aroma hops to it.
None. The raspberry definitely kills a ton of that.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, we've had other beers in the past where there's been a strong aroma of something else that they've infused it with, and you can still smell the hops.
Yeah, this one is supposed to be a woodsy like, I guess, flavor and aroma to it.
Mm-hmm.
A floral, which I don't know if I get the floral out of it. I get more red. Like, I get a huge hit of raspberry out of this.
And I think that's why it tastes so good.
Like, when I smell it, I smell barely any hops.
It's one of those beers that we've had a few beers and we said the reason why we don't like it is because there's not enough of that flavor in it.
Yeah.
This definitely kicks your ass with raspberry.
And then, like, there is a spicy note. Like, if you feel it, like, on the back end of it, you get your there's cinnamon in it.
Yo, absolutely.
And there's spices, and there's nutmeg. Like, you get that. Like, it's kind of like when you go to your grandma's for the holidays and you have a pie. Like, oh, I taste the cherry out front. Oh, I got all these other spices on the back when I actually sit there and taste it, you know? And that's what it reminds me of. It's like, oh, this is a holiday beer. I can guarantee I'd drink this for Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever.
This is a perfect holiday beer.
Yeah, like, this would pair very well with any dessert I'd probably go with, as long as it's not like a chocolate or butterscotch or something a fruit drink.
I would disagree. I think it would go great with like a chocolate mousse or something like that because it's opposites attract.
Yeah, I guess so. That's sweet and salty go together, you know, like hand in hand. So maybe it would.
Yeah.
I don't like. I taste more raspberry than anything in this. Like, I don't know how they infused this. Maybe they used last week's review and got with them and injected it in. Like, but that's all I taste is raspberry. It's good though, and I don't know if it has to do with like us not trying the regular and being with the Nitro. Maybe that has a huge thing to do with the flavor.
Mm.
But I taste so much raspberry in it. Like,
it is.
I enjoy it though.
It's very tart. It's very sweet. There's a lot of raspberry, but it's still got that beer like heartiness to it. Like, it's still a beer. It doesn't taste like you're drinking a juice or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it could be a wine if you honestly look at the color.
Yeah.
It looks like it could be very close to a carbonated wine, but it's not. You definitely get the beer aspect of it.
Why don't you talk about the Nitro part of it a little bit?
The Nitro, basically, it's, you got CO2 or you got nitrogen.
Yep.
It's the gases that they use to carbonate it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there is to it. The nitrogen's going to give it the smaller bubbles, which give it the cascade effect, basically.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to change the flavor profile a whole bunch.
So the CO2, like I use is like when you crack something open, it's almost like drinking a soda. You can taste. It's like you can feel the carbonation.
Yeah, and this is.
You can feel and this is just, it's smooth, and what I kind of, maybe for lack of a better term, flat. It's almost like you cracked open, or you left a soda out for a day or two, and then you took a drink of it, and it's flat. It doesn't have that like kick from the carbon or anything like that. It's because it's so smooth. I've had other nitros where they taste different than, the original.
You know, the more it tastes, I do get a bitterness on the back end of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like super.
That's probably that's the hops.
That's probably that hops where it's like, oh, maybe it is brewed in IPAs.
I would imagine that's the hops. You're not gonna, because of the overpowering raspberry taste, you're not gonna get that green, hoppy, like throaty,
full kick in the throat, like
right.
Bam.
But it's still bitter.
You're gonna have 2 of these.
Yeah, exactly.
Be done.
All right, so we might as well get to the real part of it. This is going to be hard because we're not going to do a lot of beers like this. It's the holidays. We decided to go with something a little fruitier. But I don't know. I don't know if I can. This is going to be hard to judge. What about
it's an ale.
Yep. Start with the color.
The color, when I think of ales, are a little bit darker than like your lagers or your lights.
Yep.
So when I see those, it's like an off golden brown color is how I'm going to rate those. The only reason this has that color is because of the raspberry. The raspberry definitely dyed this.
I would absolutely.
So, but if you look at like the haziness of it and all that stuff, it's comparable to what like you would think an ale or a lager or a light would look like. You can see straight through it.
I would say that's what I was gonna say was if you took the red tint out of it,
it would be an ale.
I think it would look lighter than most ales.
Yeah, that's pretty light. I don't know if you guys can really see that in the camera, but that's pretty light for an ale. Like I expect an ale to be between like a porter and probably a lager, somewhere between there. And that, like, if I can see straight through it, you're maybe close to an amber. Maybe.
That's kind of what
but that's just because of the red tint.
It could be just because of the red tint.
I think of that look. It looks more of an amber. It has the reddish tint and stuff, but that's straight because of the raspberry.
How about the bitterness, though? You said you tasted it on the back end.
So, like, I guess taste on the back end, I feel a little bit of bitterness when I like swish it around in my mouth and then swallow it. I kind of treated it like wine when I did it. So
bougie,
right? So I mean, there's not a lot of bitterness. Like I could drink this.
Yeah.
The only reason I couldn't drink it is because of the sweetness and the tartness from the raspberry.
So the drinkability isn't gonna be all day.
No, I would probably have this Growler poured us 2 mason jars. I'd probably do 2 mason jars full and done.
Yeah. So basically,
that's where I'm at. Yeah. It is pretty sweet and tart for me. So when I go to rate this on color, I can't rate it high because it's an ale. It's considered an ale. I gotta rate it kind of low. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. Like that's where I'm at, just because it's red. It's very, very see-through. Like if I take the red out, it's gonna look like a light beer.
Exactly, and that's kind of
like that's why I'm rating it low, like a 4.5. Like, hey, who knows? There's a lot of beers that could be exactly the same as this.
Let's do our overall review right now on this beer as a raspberry nitro ale. It's hard because we've never done a nitro.
We always and what it boils down to is for us, we don't really have a set standard. A lot of it comes down to that flavor for me.
Yeah.
Like, can I drink it? Yes, it's very drinkable. Can I drink a lot of them?
We'll do an overall flavor taste for the average person.
All right, so an average person that's not familiar with craft beer, I'll give it. I'm gonna say an 8, just because.
Wow.
Just because, if we're thinking of the average person that doesn't drink a lot of beer, it's drinkable. On my level and your level, where we drink a lot of craft beer,
Okay, all
I'm
right.
rating
I'm
it a
seeing
lot
you.
lower.
I'm seeing you a little bit.
You know what I mean? Like, if we rate it for the average person that doesn't drink a lot of beer, it's higher. I guarantee.
This
I
is going to
guarantee
be something that is, if you're trying to get someone into craft beer,
let them try it. Definitely.
go ahead.
Push it over.
That's going to be sweet. It's going to have a lot of
Then you
flavor.
work them up with your fruitier IPAs. And
Yep.
Like, when I think of getting somebody into craft beer, if they can drink an IPA, like any really horrible IPA, that's just, like, it could taste like cat piss and they're going to drink it.
Yeah.
Like, you work this in. It's just start working at the fruity level.
I'm
and
going to
then
go...
once it'll just evolve from there.
Overall, as far as beer, I'm going to give it a 7.2. Because, like we just discussed, if I'm introducing this to someone, if I'm trying to get somebody to come over to the dark side and try something other than
the dark side, it's the right side.
the right side, other than say like a Busch Light or something like that, and I know that the person's got a sweet palate, I'm gonna say give this a whirl.
we know we like gummies.
Yes.
Those are our foods.
Oh my
So,
god, yeah.
we like gummies. If somebody likes gummies like we do, hey, give this a little bit of a whirl.
See, if I'm grading it overall though on a scale of what I like to drink beer, I'm giving it less than that because the drinkability factor is
it's not there.
it's not there. I can't have
It's
this.
too sweet.
This is gonna once I get down to about right here, it's gonna be tough to stomach because it's too sweet.
I'll stomach it. No, yeah, that's exactly where I fall too. Is like average person drinking it. Hey, this is a good starter beer.
It
To
is.
get you into the craft beer, this is a great starter.
It's very delicious. It
But-
really is.
But we've drank a lot of craft beers, a lot of different. Like we like to try any beer that comes across. So I gotta rate this low. Like I'm overall for me in general, is gonna be a 4.5 to 5.
Yeah, I was gonna
Somewhere
get.
in there.
I was
Like
gonna
it's
say,
a great beer. Don't get me wrong, but not what I'm expecting when I think of an ale.
That's yeah. No, I would agree. If someone's saying ale, this has way too much flavor as far as the raspberry goes. I'm expecting more beer with a hint of this. Now, I think the reason why we like it so much is because it has so much flavor. But if it had more of an actual beer flavor, I could probably drink it all day. I
Throw
can't
some
drink
gummy
this
worms
all
in there,
day.
dude.
Yeah.
We got a treat.
Bop, 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 bop.
It's our next weekend cocktail.
All right. Well, is that about it?
That's all I got. Like overall, I give it a 4.5 to 5.
Yeah, I think I was gonna go about a 3.8. I just don't. It's tough because I really liked it. I really did. But that drinkability factor at the end, man, I just can't have more than
Dude,
probably what I already had.
Like I'm not gonna lie, a flavor profile on it, it's high, man. Like there's
It's
a
low.
lot of flavor in it.
If you're just taking a few drinks, you're having 1 or 2 cans.
But what if
Boom!
I can't drink it more than a mason jar, like I'm gonna be sick after this.
Right, we drink out of mason jars.
I'm gonna be sick after 1 or 2 of those, and I'm done.
Exactly. So, that being said, thank you to Hagemeister for honoring our expired gift certificate to allow us to do this beer review today. Make sure to follow us on our social media. Our Facebook, it's pretty simple. Off the Tap. We post all of our videos. We post them there. We post them to YouTube. We do a lot of pictures. We post all of our pictures to Instagram. Our Instagram is Off the Tap GB 2018.
There you go. There you go.
I got it. Social media is hard to remember. It's just a lot of numbers, a lot of letters.
Gmail.
Our
Same
Gmail.
thing as Instagram.
Same thing as Instagram.
Just add Gmail at the end.
We want to do all sorts of beer reviews, okay? We're starting to get established with what we're doing as far as reviews. We're going to really try to set a standard as far as a scale for our review.
That's where we should, like, I want to know what you guys think we should review it on. Give us your standard for reviewing a beer. Like, we started off what?
We do a lot of smell, color, aroma, like
And taste.
the drinkability, the taste.
I think we just added drinkability this week.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So we got 5 going
There's
on.
a lot of factors that we have going on, and I think we switched up every week, but a lot of what we've done so far hasn't been.
We definitely hit the aroma and the color.
This isn't a beer that's like, oh yeah, well what raspberry ale are you doing next week? Like there's not a lot of raspberry ales. So once we start diving in and we get more established and we do a number of IPAs, our scale will be, pretty set for IPAs, pretty set for porters, pretty set for stouts. We'll get it going.
The one thing, hey, send us suggestions like, we got a raspberry IPA, you had a raspberry ale. If you tried a different one, let us know. We'll compare them.
Absolutely.
We'll give you our review on it.
That'll help us. If you said,
help us.
You guys did a shit job on your review. You need to check this one out. We could review the two.
On the same hand, they better be checking out what we're posting too, because
absolutely
we're here doing it for them too. So
all right, that's been it for this week. We're the Kissing Cousins. I'm Skinny Jeans.
It's at the tank,
and make sure to keep her tuned.
Keep her tuned.